Hi, I'm Amy Miranda, and I'm going to be reading to you from my forthcoming book called What We've Forgotten, an interdimensional adventure to remember the wonder within. Remember when you were younger and there was like choose your own adventure? That's what this is all about, okay? It's like, who's the boss? There's a path you take and a path not taken. The choice is up to you, my friend. There's not any singing in the book, but I'm going to do a reading for you, and it's from chapter 8, and it's from the Hall of Secrets. As we step forward through the mirror and into the light, it takes a minute to adjust to the change in illumination. We stand in another hallway surrounded on either side by huge glowing columns. Somehow the stone is luminescent and the columns are each crowned in gold. There must be a dozen of them leading down this hallway. Light comes up from the floor along the length. We're down the rabbit hole indeed. The ceiling's painted with ships moving through a night sky. Constellations glow as the light passes through tiny pinpoints in the stone ceiling. The whole space radiates in a starlit glow, as if the room were full of stars. This is the Hall of Secrets. This is the place where we engage our own star stuff. It's the place where we shift our being into a state of receiving. You've likely been in a state of output. In the Hall of Mirrors, we asked our soul, our higher self, to take the wheel. We've been learning a little about its credentials and where it comes from. And as we move through this hall to each of the columns under these constellations, we'll get to know our souls, our spirits, our energy. Just as we had to reframe ego, we have to do the same for the soul. What is it, anyway? And what does spirit actually mean? To breathe, sure. But what is it? The soul is defined as the spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal. It's the compassionate and empathetic part of us. It's also the piece of us that has the prospect of living forever, or lifetime after lifetime. It's the part of us that's regarded as immortal, the divine part. We can see our bodies, we can feel them, we know enough about the brain, but the soul is the mystery of our being. A crucial part of consciousness and yet an unseen part of our daily life. Yet, it's the light or energy that powers our being and our consciousness. Maybe the soul provides the consciousness, the connective tissue between the physical body and the spiritual self. Maybe it's our tether to home, a seed of our star stuff. It's much gentler than the ego because it has no worries. That's what happens when you have an ancient divine intelligence. That kind of experience tends to calm the nerves. The difference between driving with a new driver and being driven by a professional. It's a more relaxed ride because there's more experience at the wheel. Because of this, the soul can be quieter than the ego. It's more elegant. And that means you need to make a little more room to hear it. I know, all these rooms. But it's never going to be the loudmouth. It's just not how it's wired. It's humble and kind, and it would never say anything mean to you or anybody else. That's how light operates. That's why it feels so good in this hallway. Have you ever felt so good in a hallway? I haven't. I love it here, but I'm a bit of a space witch. The soul has a language just like nature does. The language of your soul is intuition. It's the part of you that cues the goosebumps, the shiver down your back, the butterflies and gut feelings, the stomach-dropping feelings, the inner knowing. The soul is the part of us that just knows. And the more we listen for it, the more we make room for it, the more it shows up, the clearer it gets. You'll get used to that change in volume. You're part of your ancestry on the planet, but you're also part of your soul's own lineage. It comes from stuff that's billions and billions of years old. We talked in the greenhouse about how nature doesn't take cash. What does it take? What is nature's currency of choice? Love. Source is loving by design. The soul is loving. When we feed the system, it feeds us back. The reciprocity is built in forever. That's the part of us that's connected to everything that is, ever was, and ever will be. Your soul is your authentic self. Of course it knows the way. And as we move through the first set of columns, the constellations above us twinkle, and they move from one side of the hall to the other. So, that's the end of the reading. It's the first time I've read it in public. I hope you will help us. We have a Kickstarter. And listen, you might be late to the party, but that's the best time to get to a party, is late. So, I would love your support. I would love your help. I would love for you to donate, not just for my story and the disruption of traditional publishing, but for all the other authors who are on Rise Books and who are getting a chance to tell their stories. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed The Hall of Secrets. Have a great day. Brand new life, a brand new life around the bend. Bye.